On the far side of the world, where the air moved slowly and the stars shimmered just a bit brighter, there was a hidden valley known only to the moon and the wind. Nestled between gentle hills and draped in soft mist every evening, the valley slumbered in eternal twilight. Birds with velvet feathers sang lullabies that could hush even the most restless hearts. The grass swayed like a mother rocking her child, and the breeze hummed a tune so ancient it seemed to come from the earth itself. In the heart of this valley was a cottage made of blue stone and wood older than time. It had a thatched roof, always warm, always dry, and windows that flickered with golden light from within. Inside lived an old woman named Elira, known to no one except the stars in her garden. Her hair was silver, not from age but from moonlight, and her eyes held the calm of 1,000 peaceful nights. Elira's days were quiet and slow. She woke when the first dew appeared on the leaves, brewed tea with herbs that grew in crescent-shaped beds outside her door, and spoke gently to the wind. Her companion was a cat named Willow, who never made a sound but always knew when to curl beside her, like a warm shadow. Elira tended to her flowers and collected rainwater in glass jars. She lit candles that never burned too bright and kept books that whispered stories instead of shouting them. Each night, as the world held its breath and the sky turned the softest shade of indigo, Elira would sit by the window, a knitted shawl around her shoulders, and begin to speak. Not loudly, never loudly, but softly. So softly the walls barely heard her. Her stories were never written down, yet they floated in the air like mist, settling into the valley's dreams. One evening, as the last rays of light faded, Elira whispered a story so tender, even the owls paused to listen. It was about a little cloud named Numa, who had never rained. Numa was born high above the tallest mountain, where the cold winds danced and the sun kissed the sky. All the other clouds would travel with the breeze and weep over forests and lakes, their tears becoming blessings. But Numa was light and quiet and never found the sadness that brought the rain. She drifted for many seasons, watching fields turn golden and rivers sparkle. She watched children run beneath the sky, arms stretched, laughing and hoping for drops to fall. But Numa remained dry. She worried she was broken or wrong or simply too small to matter. So she drifted farther and farther, away from the voices and songs, until she found herself above Elira's valley. The valley had not seen rain in many moons. The grass was still green, but the flowers drooped a little. The stream near Elira's cottage was shy and quiet, whispering as it passed. Numa floated above, silent and still, unsure what to do. Elira, as always, felt the shift in the air. She stepped outside, Willow at her feet, and looked up at the sky. "You've come a long way," she said gently. "You look tired." Numa didn't reply. She didn't know how. But she shimmered a bit, as if the words had touched her. "I think," Elira said as she reached out her hand, "you are not broken. You are just waiting for the right moment to feel." And in that moment, something warm and full opened in Numa's heart. It was not sadness, but softness. Not grief, but grace. And without warning, she wept. Not in sobs, but in delicate drops that fell like kisses. The valley drank every tear, flowers perked up. The stream began to hum again, and the wind carried the scent of new beginnings. Elira smiled and returned to her cottage. Willow leapt into her lap, purring. "There," Elira whispered. "Now she knows." And so it was that each night in that quiet valley, stories continued to bloom. Elira told tales of dreaming trees, of rivers that could remember, of stars that had names and liked to be called. Each story stretched softly into the air, wrapping itself around the valley like a warm blanket. One story was about a boy named Corin who lived in a clock tower. He had been left there as a baby, swaddled in midnight blue cloth and placed on the doorstep of the timekeeper. The old man who found him raised him with gentleness and gears. Corin grew up surrounded by ticking and talking, by the whir of cogs and the hush of passing time. He learned to listen, to the way minutes sighed and hours whispered. But Corin often wondered what was outside the tower. Every window showed a different piece of the world. Clouds brushing mountain peaks, leaves falling into golden forests, rivers that curled like ribbon. One day, with the blessing of the old timekeeper, Corin stepped outside. The wind greeted him like an old friend. The trees bowed in welcome. He wandered far and wide, using the stars as his map. Wherever he went, time felt just a little softer. Clocks ran smoother. People dreamed more easily. It was as if Corin carried a pocket of peace wherever he stepped. He met a girl who painted with rain. She didn't use brushes or canvas. She waited for storms, then dipped her fingers in puddles and painted on the sky. Together, they told time not with numbers but with feelings. Morning felt like lemon tea. Afternoon felt like warm blankets. Night felt like velvet and stories. Corin returned to the Clocktower years later, not because he missed it, but because he wanted to give something back. He added a new gear, shaped like a heart. From that day on, the tower didn't just keep time, it remembered dreams. And so Elira told the world, each night, little by little, until the stars themselves leaned in, eager for the next whisper.